If you guys ever want to play Phasmophobia again, I'll play on my Steam Deck because I ain't playing that on my screen.
All right, what's good, everybody? Ninja Viaduct back at it again. I'm your host, Andrew, and joining me tonight, we have Chris and Raymond on the cast. Now, it's been a minute since we've all been together, but, it's a holiday season and things are still a little hectic, so we're going to try to keep tonight's episode a little bit on the shorter side, as best as we possibly can. But in any case, we want to talk about sort of the big thing that's happening this holiday season, which are sales. So currently it's the Thanksgiving weekend, and I kind of wanted to just catch up with everyone to figure out what exactly everyone's planning on buying or have already bought. What are some things that have been good, bad, have your investments sort of paid off, so to speak. But since Raymond hasn't been with us for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to him, and he can go ahead and share his thoughts. So, Raymond, what are you buying this holiday season?
All right, guys. Path of Exile 2 early access is coming out next week. Whoever's listening, please go buy and try it. Super excited for that. Other than that, from Steam, I bought this roguelike called Nimrods. It's just like your standard like Vampire Survivors clone, but it's with guns. So that, yeah, because PoE is coming out, so I didn't buy too much stuff. I bought some songs for DJ Max. And then, if you guys into music, video game soundtracks, a website called Materia Store is doing sales.
Okay.
So I picked up some Persona soundtracks. So pretty excited about that. And then connecting to that, I bought.
What is that?
It's by Moondrop. It's a CD player. Portable.
Oh.
That's pretty slick looking item.
Yeah. I hate streaming music. Streaming movies and stuff. I like
traditionalist.
Yep. Yeah, but other than that, not much. I was hoping Romancing Saga would be on sale, but I'll just wait for it because I kind of want to try it out. Other than that, what's that?
I'm kind of curious about that CD player. So, is it just a standard CD player, or is it something a bit more special to it?
No, it's just a standard CD player. And then, I mean, it's got your headphone and like output if you want to.
Yeah.
Like I connect it to my receiver sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like a lot of J-pop songs, like it's better to. I guess it's easier to access them on CD.
Yeah.
Because like I don't have. I think easiest is like Apple Music. But yeah, I don't touch Apple stuff, so I just gotta go physical with that.
Yeah, imagine. I know Japan. I mean, well, it's been a while since I've looked into it, but I recall Japan being really, really big in like having a physical object for their music, right? Whether it's like a CD or packaged CDs, something like limited edition signing of CDs. So I imagine that's still pretty big in Japan compared to here in the States. But I always thought, I knew vinyl was making a comeback for the past few years, but are you seeing a CD has been coming a thing now? No, it's just so it's kind of like a niche thing.
Yeah, it's pretty niche. But I wanted one because, I mean, J-pop vinyls. I don't think they have too many like the US.
Yeah.
Like I think CD is still a thing there in Japan. So.
Sure. Yeah.
So like when I went to Japan in April, I picked up some CDs. So.
Well, I'm going to be in Japan next week, so if there's something you want me to pick up for you, and definitely let me know.
Anything?
Okay. I'm not sure what the anything means, but I'm kind of worried now. But yeah, sure, okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. All the boring stuff like I bought a new mouse, but that's about it for me.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Really interested in the Path of Exiles. Also, like I tried playing the first one a little bit on PlayStation, but I think my gear is a little too old, so it wasn't running anywhere. I was getting a lot of screen tearing. But from what I heard from early reviews or like early plays of Path of Exiles 2, it seems like whenever it gets released officially, it would be like a game of the year contender.
Yep. It will overthrow. I mean, it already overthrew Diablo, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like their leveling system though, like the sphere grid type stuff. That I mean,
All this, yeah.
yeah, because I mean, first I ever saw that was back in like Final Fantasy X, which I thought was great, and I just feel like it's never really made a comeback until Path of Exile.
So imagine that for your skills. Now they have it on weapons. So they're just
Uh,
going bigger and bigger.
mhm,
So
nice. All right. Well, Chris, what about you? What have you picked up this holiday season?
Yeah, no, for me, well, last time we spoke, I mentioned that I was on the fence of either taking advantage of the sale for picking up either Silent Hill 2 or Astrobot. And ultimately, I chose Astrobot and picked it up a couple days ago and having some really good time with it. Just put about me hour and a half into it thus far, almost done with like this first Galaxy sector. But it's a really fun time. I mean, if any of you played the Astrobot kind of like one-off game that came packaged with the PS5 when it first came out, just my one and a half hour playing into that, it's essentially that, but on the full-fledged game. It's just really fun. It's just I agree with the whole statement of all the reviews that came out back then when it first came out that the Astrobot's definitely like a celebration of PlayStation. So there's like a lot of bot NPC characters where they're costumed in like very famous, well-known PlayStation characters like Metal Gear, Crash Bandicoot, Jax. Um, I think there's a character named Sammy back in the PlayStation One era where it's kind of like a music game, something like that. So it's really fun. I really like it. I mean, it's just overall, it definitely eats Silent Hill 2. I know Silent Hill 2 is a horror game. I'm pretty sure if I chose that game, I'd come out with more of like a gloomier, darker feel. But when I play Astrobot, most times I'm just like smiling because it's just all you know lighthearted and it's just fun and cute and there's just PlayStation icons everywhere in that game. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I picked up for, and yeah, I'm enjoying it 100%.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to see where they end up taking Astrobot and just that world. Like, I think this serves as like a perfect medium for them to bring back old IPs and just have them continue to live on. Like people have always been talking about bringing back Jack and Daxter. That was something that we played when we were younger, and I also love that and would like for them to bring it back. But it just seems odd for a studio like Naughty Dog, with where they're at now, to go back to something like Jack and Daxter. And so for Team Asobi to be able to like continue this legacy and have it live on in such a way, I think it'd be interesting to see how PlayStation moves forward with this and maybe start making like different types of titles, or like smaller titles or DLCs dedicated to all of these characters, and continue to build that out in this sort of like microverse of PlayStation for all.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely fun. Is it going to be on par with the whole iconic Mario? I'm not too sure, but I would personally like to kind of see that happen for PlayStation. I mean, the bot's very cute, the world's very cute. Um, you know, the game able to play off of the PlayStation branding and all the games that came under the PlayStation brand. It is really just fun, and it is. Yeah, how is it gonna go? We'll see. I am hoping that it'll be not just like a continuation. Any future Astrobots game, be not really like necessarily a continuation, like part one, part two, part three kind of thing, but more like maybe spin-offs. It could be like, I don't know, an Astrobot karting game. It could be a Astrobot, I don't know, Minecrafting. I don't know, right? But then definitely my my happiness just going through Astrobot is definitely a good place to be. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what PlayStation and Sobi does with this IP. Curious to see.
What do you do in that game?
It's pretty much a platformer.
Oh,
I mean, so you're just, it's like a platformer. You're a little bot. You're kind of going around a 3D world and just, jumping around, punching, like enemies, collecting coins. And the whole premise of the game is, there's about like 300 of you and your other bots, and this thing happens where you all get separated through, like, I guess, different places in the galaxy kind of thing. And essentially, you're just trying to collect them all, right? And then each world you go to, it's themed differently, right? So it's like a water world, it's like a jungle, but it's not only that, but they mix in like iconic PlayStation stuff in there, right? So like for example, your ship is like a PlayStation 5 controller. Your mothership is like a PlayStation 5 console. You have like memory cards. You have other things um, like you have like objects in the game where it's like representing like the CPU, the GPU of the PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun and cute and creative on that. And Raymond, if you played it, I definitely sure that that your son would probably enjoy just watching it because it is really colorful and fun to watch.
is there a is there end game? Is there a loot system?
There's a collection. There's a collection system. If anything, you can collect items.
Oh, okay.
So maybe not exactly 100% your usual looter that you are doing, but I definitely think that hopefully that could maybe keep you appealed in that way. So yeah, definitely a lot of collecting for sure. And I think from what I checked, this game is about maybe plus minus 15-20 hours to beat, and just my first hour and a half so far. I think this holiday season, I'm definitely gonna make an effort to just get all the collectibles. Just mainly because not to collect it, but because I just want to see all the different iconic PlayStation stuff that they're putting into that game. So yeah, I'm gonna have my holiday cut for me.
Yeah, for Astrobot, like I feel like PlayStation has really struck gold with this. Like, Astrobot has sort of been there in the past, right? And they had like their VR game and everything like that. But it was just sort of like, oh, that's cool and neat. But I think with their approach to bringing in other PlayStation IPs, like I think now this is sort of solidifying Astrobot as like the mascot for PlayStation 5 and possibly even moving forward. Like, I can already see all the marketing that they can do with Astrobot and their different reveals for everything. And, you know, like, like what you were saying earlier about like having Astrobot being able to expand that IP as well into different genres like kart racing, like some type of brawl type game. Like I could totally see that all happening within this Astrobot world. Now it'd probably take some time, but I think the folks over at PlayStation are probably really, really looking at Astrobot as like this perfect medium. Like they finally cracked the code on this and they're able to pull in all these different things and have it exist as opposed to like how something like PlayStation All Stars was like it was kind of a neat idea, but there was just something like weird and janky about it that didn't necessarily have mass appeal. But I think with Astrobot, that helps us solve some of those issues.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to Sackboy? Is he
I think he
is he
just
being
faded out.
replaced? Oh,
I don't know about being replaced, but I think he. I mean, so what was the last one? Little Big Planet 3, I think, and I think that game didn't sell too well, I believe, and that was like PlayStation 3. I think PlayStation 4. I can't remember.
oh.
But yeah, he's been out of the picture for a while. I don't know. I don't know if he'll maybe be in Astrobot in some way, but I definitely, yeah, up until Little Big Planet 3, yeah, definitely haven't seen him anywhere.
Oh, because I thought he was like the mascot.
Yeah, he definitely could have been. I mean, he
Oh.
definitely had the kind of like that cutesy Astrobot kind of feel. Like, yeah, there are some similarities. I will agree to that. Yeah, so, and we'll see.
Yeah, it seemed like for the most part, like he definitely served that as a mascot for quite some time, right? Definitely all PlayStation 3, and then I think Little Big Planet 3 was also on like the early wave of PlayStation 4 as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it was just I think there was not enough iteration to those types of games. It just continued to be like a puzzle platformer in that way. While I think from spoilers that I know for Astrobot, coming down for you in the future. I mean, uh, there's a lot more potential here than I think there was with the Little Big Planet series, and so I'm hoping that PlayStation really took heart to some of the lessons with the Little Big Planet series and those iconic characters and you know it, are really able to flesh out what Astrobot could be for them moving forward. Because I do miss those days of like from first gen PlayStation 1 and like all the little characters that we used to have with like Crash and Spyro, but there was we haven't really found our Mario yet, right? And I think this could be it.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping so. And yeah, I mean, I definitely am not against the idea of more Astrobot.
Well, in any case, that leaves me for all the sales. So as I talked about in the past, picked up Steam Deck, and now all I'm doing is just living and breathing back on Steam. And I knew the sales were coming up, so I gave myself a firm budget of about just $100 just to see what I can do with this. And I'm pretty pleased with what I ended up picking up. So I tried to spread out all the different types of genres that I was playing. So picked up a couple of Steam World games with like Dig 2 and Steam World Build, and also like Steam World Quests, which kind of scratches that RPG itch that I had for quite some time, but didn't necessarily want to go back to like things like classic Final Fantasies or anything of that nature. But some of the big titles that were on my watch list were things like Cyberpunk 2077, including the DLC, and Helldivers 2. And for the most part, just testing the waters on these things really just sunk its teeth into me. One with Cyberpunk, I do think that is a really interesting world to be in. I've only played maybe like 2 hours of it overall, but super interesting. Just I can already tell like how the combat is going to work. Some of the other things that you can do with that, with like the tech, and like hacking on the fly as well. That seems super interesting. But truth be told, I don't know when I'm going to get back into it to play even more, because the thing that's really eating up my time right now is Helldivers. Like I think I picked it up maybe like 2-3 days ago, and I'm already like 20 hours in. Just trying to burn through. And overall, I mean, there's all the chaos when you do some of these higher levels with Helldivers, but something that I've been really, really enjoying has just been doing solo runs. Just lower the difficulty a little bit, but that gives me time to just sort of explore just the terrain, and in a way also kind of like role play as these Helldivers. The satire world of Super Earth and like the propaganda, and just sort of buying into that madness. But I don't know, it's kind of fun, and it's been a nice little pastime as I like throw on something on the TV and can just explore, do my objectives, find some loot, and just bounce. Right, and that's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I can just kind of move on with my life. And with work coming up again soon, I can see this being like a perfect lunchtime game, right? Just being able to just move on from there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy Helldivers 2. I definitely enjoy Helldivers 2 more than I did 1. I remember, Raymond, you were playing Helldivers 1, you were playing it quite a lot. I think you were like pretty high level, from what I recall. And now we have an excuse to get back to Helldivers 2 again. I mean, and initially, me and Raymond got it on day one, I believe, and we played for a bit. We kind of tinkered off, but now that you're you're in the picture. Now maybe we have a reason for all three of us to get back in and continue off from there, see how it goes.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
it Crossway?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Chris and I, we tried it just the other night. But the only thing that's hard is trying to get like the chat feature working. Just because it's basically just like an open channel. So if we want to keep it more insular, that's a little bit hard. I tried working with like Discord, but I found like Discord to be a little bit clunky on the Steam Deck. So I was just like, forget it. But yeah, definitely works on crossplay.
Yeah, we should plan for it. I mean, just you can shoot some robots, kill some bugs. I'm kind of curious to see. I'm actually generally curious to see what it takes to play at that higher level. I mean, I think when we were playing, we were at like medium or something like that, and it can get pretty difficult at certain moments. But I'm kind of curious what it's like to play at like the highest level where the difficulty is just like really ramped up. So kind of something to aspire to, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm a little concerned, and for that, I might actually have to jump back onto my Razer for that one because as I was prepping for this, I was doing a lot of research, checking out Reddit, and everyone said for the Steam Deck, Helldivers 2 does run, but the cap off is the level 7 difficulty because after that there's just like too much happening on screen that the Steam Deck might not be able to handle it. And I already did have some slowdown on level 5 already, so that's what I'm a little bit concerned with, but hopefully, yeah, I can still continue to keep pushing, and I do technically have a laptop that could play it. So it's just it's a little hard to play now, which most of my time is just hanging out with the family or doing other things, and so the Steam Deck has been just sort of like a saving grace for me in that respect.
Sure, for sure.
Chris, are you getting a Steam Deck?
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm curious about it. I mean, like, it's here's the thing about the Steam Deck. Me and portables, I like the idea of having a handheld and being able to play any kind of game or almost any kind of game on the go, right? My only problem with handhelds is that every time I play a handheld, I always feel the need to play it I always prefer to play it on a bigger screen, right? So it's like, even if I had it in my hand, unless it's a game that's only handheld exclusive, like for example the PlayStation Portable, right? There were some games like Final Fantasy Dissidia that I played a lot. I can only play that on the PSP. There's no way. Well, there was a way if you had like the newer version of the PSP, then you could hook it up to the TV. But otherwise, the version I had was I think the original one, the very first version of the PSP. So I didn't have the ability to connect to the TV screen. So I was obligated to play on that only thing, but I always wanted to play it on the big screen. So the thing about handhelds is that if it's a game that I know I can play it on the big screen, like for example, one handheld game I want to play is Octopath Traveler. When it first came out, it was only on Nintendo, right? And it was specifically only on it. And they eventually brought it over to other systems like to the PC and Xbox and PlayStation 5. But I knew that game looked very pretty, and I wanted to enjoy that game in its full glory, not on a small screen, but on a handheld. So am I ever gonna get a Steam Deck or something handheld? A part of me wants to, but a part of me also knows that if I'm stuck to only handheld, I probably might not enjoy it as much. So it's kind of.
If you guys ever want to play Phasmophobia again, I'll play on my Steam Deck because I ain't playing that on my screen.
Yeah, we should try that. We should try that game again. I it's been like 2 years since we tried, I think, something like that. So I'm kind of curious to see how it's. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what it's like now. I'm sure it got a lot of updates and it's much, I guess, scarier now. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. Yeah, why not?
I'll play on my deck so I won't freak out.
I don't know. It might be worse. We were might have chucking the handheld.
Buy a new one. Well, we'll plan for that.
for sure. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up everything for us, I think. Just talking about all the sales and some of the things that we've been purchasing and have enjoying during this holiday break. But I think for right now, we're going to kind of get back to our regular lives and families and things like that. So we wish you all happy holidays. But until next time, bye.